Hi there, my name is Anthony, and this is my part two, or is it part three? Actually, it's part three, I guess. World Wide Web. But before I jump right into it, I would like to recap a few points that I might have missed in my last one: PCs, laptops, and computer networking. Oh, the stuff that I might have missed is the hard drive, memory, and um, efficiency. So these are the three things that one needs in whether it be laptops, computers, or networking. In fact, in networking, you also need another component called servers. So hard drives, memory, and storage are all common to all these three platforms, whether it be a PC, laptop, or servers. And of course, depending on their usage, you might want to have a large hard drive if it is in a corporate network or a company network. And if it's a small office, home office network, you might want to have 500 gigabytes would be adequate, I guess. And memory, 16 gigabyte minimum. However, for gaming applications, you might need a lot of memory. Okay, so for optimum speed and performance and efficiency, you want to keep these three parameters in mind: hard drive capacity, memory, and of course, in computer networking, there are a lot of other factors, which we shall discuss in another platform or that I would introduce as probably chapter 5, technical aspects of computer systems. But for now, let's go into www, or World Wide Web, which is basically ubiquitous. I use the word because it's all pervasive and prevalent in both in the home atmosphere and in business. Everybody is using the World Wide Web. What is the World Wide Web? The World Wide Web actually consists of a simple address in your browser, whether it be Safari in the Macintosh platform, or you can say Internet Explorer, which has been superseded by Microsoft Edge in Windows platform or environment. So a browser is basically what is used to access the internet, and in that browser, you put in the top address, they call it, top address, your www. For example, www.cbc.ca. Now this would translate into a domain name, right? So the internet space is organized into different domains. Based on country, based on the type of organization. For example, country would be CA for Canada, AU for Australia, and so on. And if it is just an organization, it will be .org. And if it is a charitable organization further, it would be .net, and so on. So the domain namespace is divided by the society I mentioned earlier, ICANN, Internet Committee for Domain Names and Numbers. And this in turn, the address would translate into an IP address. An IP address is a 4-octet number used in the background of all computer systems. Right? Every computer is identified by this 4-octet number called an IP address. But for ease of use and for it to be a user-friendly thing, we use what is called domain names. So that's what you put in the address, and you launch this and you get a response from the server. The server will provide that response depending on what your home page. So your homepage of that country.ca, which I just mentioned, or cbc.ca, or whatever address you are typing in there, whatever you want to browse, will come up as a static page, and that static page is built by a language called HTML, which would give you static pages. However, most browsers, most companies and businesses would set up dynamic pages using a language called CSS, Cascade Style Sheets. So, speaking of languages, there's a lot of languages that make this browsing experience very unique and very pleasurable, very aesthetically pleasant, you might say. And depending on the nature of the business, a lot of languages are used in the World Wide Web. And these languages are called front end and the back end. The back end meaning something that is sitting on a server, which the server processes. The front end languages are basically HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, CSS, Cascade Style Sheets, which gives you color and other markings that enable you to create rows and move dynamic images, etc., etc. And also there's one more language called the JavaScript. And when you query that browser or website, www, it will have to respond depending on what the query is. And the response is basically provided by the server, which handles all the languages. The languages being Python. What else is there? JavaScript, and so on and so on, and many other languages that are handled by the server. The server will provide you with those languages, also called C#, and many such languages that is handled by the server. Of course, this in turn, the servers are programmed or managed by developers. These people who write languages for the World Wide Web are called developers. So there are many kinds of developers, front-end developers and full stack or developers or back-end, depending on the nature of the task, right? So these web browsers will query, and depending on what they're looking for, if it's ordinary things, they will be responded to by the server in these languages, PHP, Python, JScript, C-script, and so on, right? So these are basically building blocks of the web page, and the developers are software engineers. They're called software engineers, and these people, just as a side note, make a lot of money writing programs or code, right? These codes translate, is translated by the server into whatever you're asking for. Maybe you're asking for some data, right? All kinds of data, depending, and so therefore you will have to have programs on the server running like databases. So a lot of stuff happening in the back end, and these are basically your databases running SQL servers or MySQL, etc., in order to provide you with the responses to what your query is. Now, there are also code editors that basically manage your code in terms of Visual Studio and the environment that you are looking for, and the developers manage these programs using a number of languages, as I mentioned earlier. So that's what the World Wide Web is. The World Wide Web is quite commercial because the query you ask for is also dependent on how common or how responsive your server is. And therefore, there's other factors or tools used in the World Wide Web called SEOs, or you can say search engine optimizers. And what these search engine optimizers do is that they basically respond to based on the ranking and the keywords that are used within the search engine tool. So in order to reach better rankings and to beat the competition in terms of business, you would need to optimize the search engine, and there are lots of tools that will help you do that. And again, these are taken care of by experts. And these experts are called, as I mentioned earlier, web developers. And so the World Wide Web is also used by very professional people in order to develop their business that will fetch them, make them popular, sell the stuff that they're selling on the internet, be it large-scale construction equipment, or electronics, or in anything else that the vendor is selling at and wants to beat the competition. And so there are many tools to optimize the sale or the response of the web browser. And these will be covered at a later date. But suffice to say that the internet is also managed by a number of servers. And these servers are basically sitting in the cloud, also called cloud computing. Now, this cloud computing is managed by two main, and supported by two main, you can say, companies. One is called the Amazon Web Services, AWS, and the other one is Google Cloud Platforms. These companies manage these servers sitting in the cloud, as it were, running these services as, as small virtual modules, infrastructure as a platform, server as a platform, and platform as a service. All of these are little virtual modules that are sitting in the cloud and managed, and managing your service, your websites based on the amount of information that you are looking for and your subscription to these cloud computing services. So that, in a nutshell is your WWW. I'm hoping to cover this in slightly greater detail at another stage of my YouTube channel. And that will be when I go into part 4, called ChatGPT, or artificial intelligence, which is another new technological development that is rapidly taking over the internet world today. And again, going back very quickly about the internet, today we have a lot of devices that are connected to the internet. And all those devices lumped together are called IoT. That's another platform which basically stands for the Internet of Things. For example, your fridge. If you have, if it is connected to the internet, you will know when to order when your milk runs low, or anything that you store in your fridge. The sensors will detect the shortage or reordering process, and since you're connected to the internet, will place the order accordingly. And there are other things that, like washing machines in many countries like Hong Kong, they have washing machines due to the shortage of electricity, which will run when the employees are at work. The consumption of electricity on the domestic front is low. So that will run on another grid, the home grid, that will actually turn the washing machine on unattended when the employees are at work. So this balances out the electricity consumption and makes it cheaper for the consumer. So the Internet of Things basically means every device that is on this planet connected to the Internet, and which technology enables things to be done without being attended to or without human interference. So I will cover these things in a little more detail later, but for now I hope you enjoyed my discussion here on this channel. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.